You're all good. Yeah, no, you're all good.
Justin.
Bruce, the Athletic. Obviously, start with Donovan, 71 points with a career high and breaking all sorts of things. But the second half, especially, what did you see from him and just this determination to get you guys to the win?
It was, a response, an understanding, who we are and how you lead and how you present yourself in the moment, and what's expected of us. Obviously, he went above and beyond, but, he wanted to show how much it mattered. And again, I don't know how many guys in our league who in the moment, when it's needed, could go out and have a performance like he did tonight. It wasn't one of those games where, we were in control or it was back and forth or it was a blowout. In our favor, like every single play that he made was a play that was necessary. And, I don't know how many guys, in our league that can do what he did tonight.
At the end of regulation, you guys were sitting on the bench together. What were you saying to each other and just kind of the reaction at that point of, okay, we've made it this far?
Right. It was, we knew where we had to go. And, he and I are building a relationship and an understanding of one another and, how we communicate and what buttons need to push both ways. And that was a moment where, not a lot needed to be said. We knew what we had to do. We knew what we had done, but it wasn't going to be enough if we didn't finish it. And he went out and led the way.
What's been so special about that relationship you've been building with him? Because it is January, I guess, now, but it's still early since the trade and everything. So what's been so special about it?
It's genuine. Like, he's a really awesome dude. And he cares so much about this and this team. And, again, he's never put himself above the team. So, how can you not root for, pull for, give everything you can to help a guy like that? I think that's the way I feel. That's the way all the coaches feel, and his teammates feel that way also.
Jason, how do you coach 71?
Get out of the way. You try to see what they're doing, and you try to figure out, how you can continue to create opportunities for the hot hand. He didn't need a lot of help from me tonight.
You did this on a night where you don't have Evan and Darius. I think you were saying before the game you expected him to try and get the ball out of his hands. Well, obviously that didn't really work. Just how impressive is it to do it on a night without Darius, without Evan, and just have 11 assists on top of 7?
Well, you think about the 2 lobs that he made to Jarrett, down the stretch that were critical. It wasn't just about him scoring. He played the complete game and he dissected the opponent. And, to me, the most impressive piece of this is where we were to start this game and where we were at halftime. There's excuses to be made without Darius and Evan, right? We all could have said, oh, well, we're down 21. We don't have 2 of our starters. But he was determined to show that, this group and winning is the most important thing to him. There's not enough words. I've never been witness to a performance like that live. I think we've seen some of it on TV before, but we were treated tonight to, one of the greatest performances in the history of the NBA.
Danny Cunningham, ESPN Cleveland. At what point did you realize you were being treated to one of the greatest performances?
I think there was a 3 he hit in the left slot. You just start to realize, and this one was late because you're in the moment. All you're thinking about is, how do we get back in this game? What do we have to do to try to win? But I think we got to a point where we had brought ourselves back and gained the lead. And he hits a big 3 to stretch it, and it's just that gives you an opportunity, to exhale a little bit and then, realize what exactly is playing out in front of you.
Then at the end of regulation, Donovan misses the free throw, gets the putback, ties the game up. Is that something that you guys practice? If so, is that how it's practiced?
Well, we've practiced it once. But, again, it was his understanding of what was needed to be done. Obviously he makes the first one, which is most important. And then we were able to make our subs to get some of the bigger guys in that could kind of block out and find that hole. And I mean, again, the basketball gods love these moments. And when you do the things that you're supposed to do, they show you favor. And I think tonight was an example of that.
Yeah. And then all again, JD, I've asked you this so many times now, and I'm just gonna ask it again. Have you ever seen a player's motor run as hot as Donovan's offensively?
I mean, after tonight, it's hard to say, that you have. I mean, there's obviously been some great players in this league, but I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know how many guys are capable of doing what he did tonight.
And what was the message to your guys at halftime? He jokingly mentioned he threw some things around and probably threw some curse words around too. But what did you tell your guys to kind of dig deep and get back into this one?
It was just a challenge that was laid.
Dan.
Donovan played every second of the second half, and I know it's hard to take a guy out when he's going the way he was, but was there a conversation that you two had when he kind of pushed to stay in the game? What was that?
Yeah, I mean, he said he was good. And again, we've built a relationship based on trust. And I told him, just keep talking to me. And we tried to use our timeouts as wisely as we could to get him as many blows as we could. And again, it's hard to speak of. I'm just be honest with you, like what he was able to do. Come on in. No. A lot of questions about you. What he was able to do, again, just speaks volumes to who he is.
Last one, Joe.
Coach, you guys 6-0 in overtime this year and dominant in overtime. Any reason you can give it that?
Yeah, we have a grit to us. We have a place that we can go where we just don't give in. We don't quit. And people are comfortable in 48 minutes, right? But we've got a mental toughness to us that allows us to be forceful in those final 5 minutes because we know what we're capable of. And again, it speaks to the character of our group and how special they are.
All right, thanks, JP.
Thank y'all. Donovan Mitchell, everybody. No, I didn't say a word. You already told 3 of that.
I just want to. That's a big part of what happened today.
Sorry, won the game.
Oh my goodness gracious! I'm good. I'm as good as can be.
Kelsey Bruce, the Athletic. Kelsey, we'll start there. What was that conversation at halftime that sparked it?
Man, we didn't look like us. I think when you play games like this, I think the biggest thing. Oh, this is a bad idea. Just like understanding that we won game 1 and there's a different preparation, different tone they want to set. And they said in the presser that they were tired, so they believe that they just were tired and they could come out there and just play with energy. And they did. You got to give them credit, and they made it tough. But, we found some type of resiliency as a group on the defensive end. Like offensively, yeah, 71's great. But I keep saying, like, we just found a way to get stops, crucial rebounds, crucial everything, and I think that's what ultimately got us to that point. And sure, we had some things go our way, the missed free throw and stuff like that, but to ultimately put us back in that position, we had to get stops. Doesn't matter how many times you score, you have to get stops, especially being down, was it 18 and a half? So, like, understanding that's what you got to do.
You obviously have the junkyard dog chain on. You got drenched by your teammates out on the floor afterwards. Having the support of your teammates after this performance, what does that mean, and what does this performance mean to you?
It means the world. When it's crazy. Like, I try to give my teammates all the credit because at the end of the day, like I said, they trust me enough to make these plays, and they immediately go right back and say, nah, like, screw that, like, it's you. You know what I mean? And that just gives you confidence. And I told Serena the other night, like, I hadn't played to my best of my abilities, and started at Toronto and then Brooklyn, Indiana in the last game. So, like, for me, just trying to just be the leader that I can be. I haven't been the best, and just trying to just force myself into the game and be a leader. But when you have guys that are consistently in your ear every second telling you to keep going, it makes life, very easy. Sorry, I'm not even talking into the mic.
Going off that really quick. that mindset of after not playing a stretch of games, I feel like, did you come in like, specifically wanting to do something, I guess,
Yeah.
to turn that around?
Yeah, and I try to set the tone early, and sometimes when you try too hard, you start messing up the other way. When you start like pressuring the ball, and now Io gets by me. Now it's where defense is collapsing, putting ourselves in bad positions because you're trying to be over aggressive. And then I think we were all just out of sorts to start. And for me coming into the third, it was like, just make the simple play. Whatever that may be, whether it's like I said, getting to the basket, trusting guys, finding guys, and just get stops. And we were, like I said, keep plugging, keep fighting, and just understanding, just it'll come.
Jason, one of the Athletic, take us through the free throw line at the end of regulation. Yeah. With all those big dudes out there, how do you want them to ball?
Yeah, that's why I asked JB to put Rolo in, because we worked on it in Toronto, but the guys seemed like they knew what I was talking about when I said Toronto, but they just told me they had no damn idea what the hell I was talking about. So, we did it so long ago, but understanding that I've done that in Utah, we went over that, and we went over how to miss. Like that's how, like, to detail Quinn Snyder is how to miss, and just understanding that if I put it on the certain side, Rolo's gonna crash. I think it was J.A. and Rolo. I forgot what side they were on, but understanding that they're the priority. You got to go in there and fight and compete, and they don't have two bigs to kind of go in there and compete with those two. And knowing that the guy has to come from behind me to box me out. So if I could just get it on the rim with some loft and take off and use my athleticism to get there, make the play. But if I had missed the first one, I probably would have caught it and tried to find the corners. That's why you feel the corners out. That was just the thought process at the end.
So you like the loft rather than like the line?
Yeah, because it's for me, it's just so unpredictable. Like, you don't know, it can hit and go right, hit and go left. At least when they've lofted, like for me, I put it up there and it hits the rim and it goes up. So now I can put myself in the play and then just go jump and try and make a play, tap it out, grab it, and in this case, make the lip.
It looked like Kevin was going to that spot before they put Robin there. Why did you like Robin there of size?
Shooter. It's like, just in case I get it, I'm falling out of bounds, you have a shooter right there for the three.
Bob.
You're talking about outside the three, correct? Yeah.
It looked like Kevin was going.
Yeah. And then I told him to come out because, just if I get it or one of us gets it right to a shooter.
Really Chronicle. Did you ever score 71 points in high school, church league?
Nothing.
Right,
2K. 2K for sure. I definitely, when I first got into the league, I played with as the Jazz, and I was just shooting it every time. I don't think I did it this efficiently in 2K, but no, I've never have. And, it's the closest I think I've got was the bubble, maybe, when I had 57. But that was in a loss, so this one feels a lot better.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland, not Pink Island.
Hey.
But you started by missing 5 of your first 7 shots.
God.
How did you flip it around?
Like I said, just keep plugging away. I was talking to BD, Brad Daugherty, the legend in the back, and the one thing he said, I'm not making this up, by the way, so like I'm not capping or anything, but he was just saying, like, when you're going through slumps, like, just one thing he saw like MJ do and other guys do, like greats, just keep. Matter of fact, this man, I got to give you credit too. BJ came to my ear. I'm eating before the game, and what you said, I can't really say what he said, but like along the lines of like, and it caught me by surprise. I told the trainers, I was like, damn, BJ really said that, and it just, like you said, just keep pushing. Like you a bad dude, like keep plugging away, and that's what happens when you go, in these streaks when you're not really shooting the ball well, not playing well as a whole. And just keep pushing. Be overly, like, maybe not overly aggressive, but just push yourself into the game by any means necessary. And that's what I ended up doing. Just keep forcing myself. And like I said, when you have the trust of your teammates, man, it makes my life a lot easier.
Joe.
So I apologize if you've been asked something like this, but when you think about 71, you talk about Wilt, Kobe, Elgin Baylor, David Robinson. What does it mean to you to be in that kind of air?
It's humbling. I'm speechless, to be honest with you, when you say that. I think, for me, not only did I do that, but I did it in an effort where we came back and won, and it's how we won. That's really what, for me, was like, man, like, this is, nuts, to be honest. So yeah, I'm extremely blessed, humbled that I'm in that company, in that group. I've always believed I can be, one of the best players in this league, but I got to keep working. And this is a big milestone, but at the end of the day, we got to continue to. Those guys have all won, at the highest level, and that's my ultimate goal. But to be there in the record books with them is truly incredible.
So,
Yeah, Donovan, number one, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
the broadcaster for the Bulls. I called Kobe's 81-point game when I was with the Raptors.
Oh, so it was you.
Yes. It was, so, when in this game did you sense something special was going on?
Honestly, the free throw. Throughout the whole third and fourth, I was just trying to anytime they score, just find a way to score. Just find a way to, whether it's myself, somebody, just score. Just score, just get us, keep us in positions. Because I knew we were going to get stops. But once I made the free throw, that's when I was like, okay, God's got something for me right out here. It's I can go a few ways. The ball can go left, the ball can go right, but it happened to go my way and I made the lip. But once I made that, that's when I sat in the huddle and JB and I started laughing. I was like, you might as well win the game, at this point. But the third and fourth quarter for me is just what my job is. I take it and it's going out there and just finding a way to win. But the free throw was kind of that's why I couldn't stop smiling after that, because it's just one of those things, and I'm glad we fought and got the win. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Tim Cunningham, ESPN Cleveland. Donovan, you played every second of the second half tonight. What were the conversations with JB like about keeping the game?
Just don't take me out, to be honest. And that's what I told him. And like I said, when you can say that, have that conversation and trust, but I was like, look, I'm good. I'm good. I'll find my ways. And, what really helped was getting to the free throw line, slowing the pace down, slowing the game down. That was probably the longest third quarter I've ever played, just from all the fouls, just trying to get into the paint. They did a pretty good job of me in the first game. So, watching film, finding ways to attack in seams, knowing where guys are going to help from, know where guys are going to be, and, just trying to make those plays. And when you ask to stay in the game and, coach allows you, got to go out there and be able to do your job. Otherwise, if I ask to do it again, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So if I ask to do it, I got to be ready for it.
last two, Chris and Jason.
Donovan, that was one of the greatest scoring performances in the history of the game. Has that sunk in yet?
You keep saying that. I keep smiling. I don't know, man. It hasn't. I can't sit here. It probably will tomorrow. I don't know how much sleep I'm going to get tonight, but it is what it is. Like I said, man, I'm humbled and blessed to be able to be in that company, to be in this position. But it's crazy to say, but this is just one game. We got Phoenix coming up, a talented group. We got to get our rest and get ready for that. Obviously DG and everyone playing tonight. We don't know what to expect in the future, but all of us got to be locked in and ready because, and you got to give guys credit for stepping up, especially Raul and Robin. Whether Robin's 7 minutes or Raul's 17, being ready when your bell is called continuously. Kevin Love stepping into the starting position seamlessly. That's what we got to do. And Phoenix is coming in. I think they lost, so they're going to come in on some stuff, and we got to be ready for it.
Good job, Jason.
One more on the free throw. You said you went over that meticulously with Quinn in Utah.
Yeah.
Did it ever work like that? Is it the first time it worked? Or is it work
That's the first. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. That's the first time it worked that I got the ball. I think I've done it. We've hit it out and we've missed, but I don't think it's ever worked. And for shooter to catch, it's been happening recently. Luka had 2 of them. I've watched the first one, so I was like, it'd be cool if I could go ahead and get one. But I think that's the first time that I've got it for sure.
How many times roughly do you think you tried that in a game?
In a game, not many. Maybe once or twice.
How many times did you drill it?
Quinn Snyder, a lot. But it was probably once every month or so. But he would just make sure we had something in place. And it started with having 2 bigs. So when we first did it, was Derek Favors and Rudy down there. Last year it was Hassan and Rudy. And then we lost Fabe. I forgot who our backup big was, and that's embarrassing. I should probably know that. But that's kind of what it was. Just put the 2 big guys down there, miss it, tip it out, and try to make a play.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say prayers up for the Bill's safety, man. I heard about it. I didn't see it, but I wish him and his family. We're praying for him. All of us in the locker room. Kevin Love actually hit me on it and made sure we all want to, from the Cavalier organization, we want to wish the best and praying if everything goes well. So.
Donovan said some stuff after.
Just
Did you see his agent tweet?
I didn't.
His agent said,
That's why I was just
vitals are back to normal and they've
breathing
put
tube.
a breathing tube
Yeah.
down his throat. They are currently running tests. We will provide updates as we have them.
That's scary, man. Just prayers to him and his family. That's tough. I don't even know what to say.
Questions, Kelsey?
Considers the Athletic, and it's hard to obviously focus on this game, but what does Donovan mean to this team, especially to 71 points tonight, but as a whole, and what does he mean to this group?
He's a guy that's capable of having special performances, a guy that's, lifts us up, especially when we have two of our starters, guys that are franchise type players out. And, I know that the first half didn't go our way, and he just raised all of our level of play, put us on his back. And, I was telling Jason, I was telling some of these guys that in my 15 years, that's the best performance I've ever seen, ever been a part of. I've seen some special ones. I was talking about, Kyrie here against Portland when he had 55. LeBron in game one of 2018, 2018 finals, 57 for Kyrie in San Antonio. But this one takes the cake. I mean, you see he had, 34 shots, 20 for 25 from the line, 7 for 15 from three. But, I hope people don't overlook that, he had 11 assists and 8 rebounds as well. So 4 turnovers now. But that's just
and everything that followed after that. In fact,
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
What specifically about this performance resonates with you the most?
I think more than anything, it was just how poorly we all played in the first half, and I think the second half, I don't know what he went into the half with. I mean, I don't know. 55 in the second. So like that is, to me, is the most impressive. I mean, so 55 in the second half?
Yeah.
No, including overtime, but like after halftime, I mean, that's just, to me, that's wild. Like I was mentioning Kyrie scoring, 55 and 57. He had, 71 points and 55 points after halftime. I didn't know that. That right there is what impresses me the most.
Just maybe from Dime, I know work out with the same trainer, Chris Brickley. Did you know that Donovan was this just from working out with him, or is it something that only comes through once you get to share a locker room and play with him?
Yeah, I think it's more so the latter. I mean, I've known him through Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles, guys like that, but got to spend time with him. Never worked out with him, but we were always in the gym at the same time, so we knew each other, and we're very friendly. But until he got here, I didn't get to see it firsthand. And I think, I'm just very impressed by the way that he works, and again, his process, and he doesn't skip steps. He really puts the time in with everything, whether it be film, taking care of his body, lifting, all the time he spends, to make himself better. He doesn't skip a day. Every day is accounted for. And he puts the time in. I mean, he puts the hours in, puts the time in.
Last one back.
He's struggling out there. Jeez.
Kevin, you mentioned Kyrie and LeBron, some of the greatest you've played with, and I want to ask you now, what's something unique about Donovan? Obviously, Kyrie and LeBron are unique in their own ways, but what's something unique about Donovan that stands out to you?
He's a Virgo. It's September 7th. We're the same birthday. That's why he has so much. No, I think everybody has something that's apart and makes it. But he has that it factor to him. And most guys that I've seen, it's up here, and he has that. I think that's what sets him apart. His level of, the way he's able to lock in and be a professional every single day is what impresses me most.
All right, still wrap here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.